We're going to talk about a variety of subjects. So first, the welcome and then the question. Welcome, Joe Plummer. Good to have you with us.
Good to be with you, John. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you making the time. I'll tell you, it's an interesting world we live in these days, isn't it? It's just more interesting than ever before as humanity races toward the cliff in the style of the lemming.
That's unfortunately a pretty accurate description, I think.
Oh, well.
We're
Some of
doing
us...
what we can. I said we're doing what we can to try to stop it. Right?
Yeah, we are, and that's all we can do. I think that our Creator looks for intent. You know, what, did you try to do anything or just sit there? That's how I see it. Let me start off with this. Carroll Quigley. Who is Carroll Quigley?
Well, if you want to find about as reputable a source of information for how the world actually operates, you're going to be hard-pressed to find someone higher up the food chain than Carroll Quigley. I mean, this is a man who earned his PhD at Harvard and went on to teach at Harvard, teach at Princeton, taught at the prestigious School of Foreign Services at Georgetown University, advised the Department of Defense, advised the Navy, Smithsonian Institute. I mean, the list of credentials goes on. And if all of that weren't enough, probably the most important element of his credentials is the fact that he studied civilizations and how power actually operates for decades, wrote The Evolution of Civilizations, among other things, and his real value to us is that he was allowed inside the secret network that he exposes in both Tragedy and Hope and in the Anglo-American establishment. So, again, you have this very, very prominent Ivy League credentialed and connected historian. But in addition to that, what you have is a man who is actually allowed on the inside to see the secret papers of a network of individuals who manipulate the government from behind the scenes in secrecy, which is what they prefer, as he himself states. So, you just don't get that very often. So the information that he brings to the table is just extremely important. But unfortunately, in its current form, buried in a book like Tragedy and Hope, which is 1,300 pages, or the Anglo-American Establishment, might as well be at the bottom of the ocean for most people. So, my goal really is to just bring this information forward, make it accessible so people can see that, at best, this representative government that we're led to believe exists isn't what we're led to believe it is. I mean, it's a carefully managed con game at best.
Joseph, let me ask you something. You're a young guy. What turned you into an activist? You really are an activist. I mean, what was the aha moment? Did you have that I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore moment, or what happened?
I don't know. I mean, you spoke to a lot of people. I think it's just something that it's an issue of refusing to ignore your conscience. And some people seem to have that problem, if it is a problem, where when you see something that is so inexcusably illegitimate and wrong, something in you won't allow you to let it go, so you fight it. I, like most people, had been raised under the assumption that government was legitimate, that it impeded predatory behavior, and that it was there to serve our interests. And once I started to realize that it was the most atrocious lie I'd ever been told, I became, initially pretty angry, and then at some point I realized I was only poisoning myself with that anger, so I tried to take a more balanced view of all of it, but at the same time still just the drive to fight it is just irresistible, because I can't imagine anything else. If I were to just try to accept that what we have is all there's going to be and live with it, I'd have to kill part of who I am. And I imagine the same is true for you, and the same is true for a lot of people who are watching this. The people who care just are drawn to it, and they feel, whatever it is, that they're driven to try to resist this system, this illegitimate system.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this.